you, sir, in my Raw Dog voice? How dare you, sir?
Wow.
Sometimes you just got to put the truth out there for what it is, Jay. You ain't got love for us.
Somebody's pettiness is on 10 today, boy.
You ain't got no love. I was about to go Snoop Dogg and be like, you ain't got no love for Raw Dog and the Barbershop 918?
What are you talking about? I put this trio together.
Listen,
the minute I bought
he put it together now.
Buffalo
It's
Wild
all
Wings,
him. It's all him. You hear him?
The minute I bought those wings at Buffalo Wild Wings, I became the copywriter. I own the trademark to the Barbershop 918.
Well, let me say this then. Before we get started, if anybody's looking for a podcast producer and a funny man, and you want to join in on the team where you ain't got to worry about the other party being all up in other shows, dancing and laughing and doing all that other stuff, you come see the Barbershop 918.
Come to the barbershop.
That's what you do.
I'm like, yeah.
so you daddy boy, huh?
No.
Nice. It got serious. Like, no. And welcome into the Barbershop 918. You're up in there with your man, Big Drew.
We recording? Oh,
Big
man.
Drew.
J-Rock.
I said something homophobic. I'm sorry.
Boom.
And the one and only. He really don't feel that way.
I really don't know, man. It's funny, man.
He was a little bit too raw. Dog.
I'm sorry. I was just riffing, man. I'm sorry, man. Ain't nothing wrong with being gay. Just whatever, man.
It's like that Seinfeld episode. Not that there's anything wrong with that.
Nothing wrong with it. I was just joking. It's a joke. I'm a comedian.
Yeah.
Hey, that's me.
Okay. So are we going to go back and backtrack and do apologies for other people, other boxers that we may have... You don't
want to make certain people mad.
Okay.
You will disappear from this earth.
Yeah. All right, so we got a jam-packed show for you today.
Pack with jam, baby.
And a whole lot of jelly. So coming up, we got a little bit of NBA talk. We're going to talk an awful lot about LeBron today and other things that's going on in the conference finals. We also going to get into the word on the street. Go ahead, give us a piece. Just a piece. Don't not the whole thing. Don't spoil it. Just give us a piece of... That's what you got to look forward to here in a minute, all right? So...
On the streets!
Hey, man.
Once again...
I know where you live, dog. You in town, man. You know that, right?
I was feeling myself right there. I'm sorry.
Like you said, looking for a host that ain't going to be singing other people's parts, dancing, and doing all kind of other stuff. All right, so...
You just bad, man. You bad news, bro. You are just bad news. That's why you wearing orange, just like the prison guard.
Bad news. That's a late 70s, 80s just insult. Bad news.
Bad News Brown.
From the weird soundtrack. All right, so we got music news coming up with J-Rock. We also got movie news, and we also have a little bit of television news. We're excited to talk about Blackish. Got all that coming up on the Word on the Street. Matter of fact, right now, before I say it's time for the Word on the Street, we also got a really good hood discussion. Black Panther just released on DVD, and, I was watching the commentary and going through all the features and everything, and it really got me to thinking, is this possibly the greatest black movie of all time? It really got me to thinking, is it? Because it had a pretty much predominantly all black cast. It had a black director, black producer, black writer, and matter of fact, just everything about it was pretty black. So, black movies aren't an official category. Like, you can't go into the store and see black movie category. But, is it? But we know what we're talking about.
Well, you can go in some stores and they have ebony movies.
Oh, I got mahogany Mother's Day cards all around the board.
Where it's classified as ebony.
I said back in the day, backsliding days.
Those are Jesse's movie selections. Ebony.
Tell on yourself, bro. Come on, man.
That was in undergrad. You know what I'm saying? That's before I became a gentleman.
That's the indicator of what you're looking at, and they use the word ebony.
Ebony.
That was when I was a bachelor.
They only use ebony
back then.
That's my old job, man.
Ebony. Let's move on, shall we?
You told on yourself.
Word on the streets.
Oh, that's way in the back.
That's the sweet one. Can we get onto with the word on the street? Please.
That's next to the foot section. And the little people section. Then you get into the ebonies. Okay. All right. That's how I would direct them around my store.
Oh, that's funny.
All right, man. It's time for the word on the street.
Word on the street. It's the sweet one. Can I get a witness up in here? Woo!
Yes, Lord. Ooh, I'm blind.
Oh, wow.
Let me put my glasses back
If Michael Jordan was here to see this today, he would be so proud of you. Man.
He would be literally crying like it's me. He would be crying.
Or like when he won his first championship in '91.
I remember that. I was there.
Me too.
Drew, just don't say it, man. Just don't say it. Let's just move on.
J-Rock.
What you got with music, Jay?
Yeah.
All right. On the music chart, just a little bit of same music from last week. Number 10, the Migos. Number 9, the Black Panther soundtrack. We got a new entry at number 6, Ray Shrimmer. Their triple album, Shrim, came out this week.
Wait a minute. Drew, you can't be making that face when we're talking about the groups. You're giving it away how you feel about them, sir.
You're like you got gas or something, man.
That's all it is. I'm getting older, a little gas. I'm getting gassy. That's all.
All right. I'm just saying, as soon as they said the group name, you made that face. I'm like, hey, you can't do that, man. You know, people can see how we look. So
I'm glad they came back, man. That's good. I mean, they're whatever. Keep talking.
Number 4, Cardi B, Invasion of Privacy. Number 2, KOD, J. Cole. And number 1 for a second straight week, Post Malone, Beer Bongs, and Bentleys.
I'm not a fan, sir.
You shouldn't be.
The whitewash of hip-hop.
Yeah, what he said. Okay.
I'm not apologizing for that.
Hey. In other music news, Mother's Day morning, we were treated to 2 new singles from the 2017 Best Rapper of All Time, Dre 3000. He released 2 songs, Me and Moms, and then the other one was a 16-minute interlude of him playing the piano.
Knuckle banging the piano. That's pretty much what he was doing. Listen.
Somebody got a hold of some really good something, man.
Listen.
That's like good right there.
Yeah, that's that he's still playing Jimi Hendrix role. Like, I don't fully, it's not hating on Andre because everybody was so excited. Like, I got up, saw the Erykah Badu post and was like, and then went to the link and then you had shared it and it was like, okay, I am excited to hear from him because he's an icon. But, I mean, we're not there in the journey and because he's been gone for a little while, I haven't been able to see him evolve into this to where he could put out something that's kind of shaky and I get it. I don't fully get it because it wasn't horrible, but it was just like, it's a tribute. I can be tolerant of it because it seemed like it was a very personal tribute. And to be honest with you, it didn't need to be released to everybody. If it was out there and he never said anything, I think that would have been real cool to discover it. And I don't think he self-promoted or anything, but
I just think everybody was just excited to hear something from him.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Because we've been waiting for a long time.
And to be waiting this long and to have it be that, it's kind of a letdown.
Yeah, that's all. Yeah, that's pretty much where it is.
I agree.
I wonder if he did it on purpose because, to be quite honest with you, I always felt like Andre was just a little reticent about putting anything out because he always felt like they had so much success that they were bound to drop a brick. And I think that's his fear, you know, that he'll put out something that nobody likes. So maybe he's just doing this on purpose to get it out of the system. Who knows?
Yeah, I expected better, but you know, like I can say that we can all say that our favorite artist has put out a brick before. You know, people have to admit that, you know, with Andre 3000, this was not a good experiment. You know, a lot of people, he got a lot of listens, but like you said, this has been out since Sunday. I haven't heard anybody else talk about it since that Sunday.
Look, man, Prince is one of the greatest artists ever made, but I have not bought a Prince album, bruh, since Diamonds and Pearls, and that was like 1991. Okay, I didn't buy any of Prince's new stuff, and I'm a fan. So it happens, man. Hey, you fall off, man. Sometimes you gotta, flow in the fumes of your past career. It happens. And especially with hip hop is a young man's game. We all know that.
And I think that's really what he basically said. Hey, y'all can hear from me, but y'all gonna have to hear from me where I'm at. I'm not gonna come to where y'all are. You expect me to rap? I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna give you this. Right. And so it's real personal. And I think fans have to now make that decision. Do they want to be a part of this Andre, or do they want to just cling to the past? I got a good Jordan analogy with that, but I'm gonna leave it alone. So we can move on.
Please you might not want to go there, Drew.
You may not.
No, you may not, sir.
Okay, why you getting so angry, man?
Am I getting angry?
You sounded like you were. It's not like you were escalating.
I'm sorry, sir.
Can't mention the J word without escalation around here.
It's the second apology I've done in this show. What's going on?
You gotta relax.
A little bit too raw today, man. All right, so we got movie news. What you got?
All right, the movie chumps for the week, man. Check it out. Number 5 is that thriller that's been making a lot of money lately, A Quiet Place. Has anyone even got a chance to even see that?
I've threatened to see it a few times, but I think I'm going to end up red boxing.
Yeah. Number 4 is the remake of Overboard, that the movie that we all like with Goldie Hawn in it. Now it's being remade, except they switched the genders. It made 9.8 last weekend. Number 3. Now I gotta give Gabrielle Union some props on this, because we don't know what happened with Proud Mary, right? It came in on the charts at number 7. Breaking In came in at number 3 with 17.6 million. Now I put a lot on that on the fact that they really promoted it and the
Mother's Day.
Yeah, they opened it up on Mother's Day. Now, right above it is what's her name?
Amy Schumer.
No.
Melissa McCarthy.
Melissa McCarthy. Life of the Party made 17.8 at number 2, and of course number 1, still number 1, and this weekend made 62 million. Is Avengers: Infinity War, not Infinity War.
Now, I got a question. Now, as far as with money that's being made on this movie, I feel like they've made less than what Black Panther made after 3 weeks. Is that I feel like Black Panther made more money, through 3 weeks than Avengers. I don't know if we can go back and look at that later on.
I might have to go back and look at that. I mean, because I think that Avengers: Infinity had the bigger opening. But I think Black Panther is probably going to go the longest. Who knows? I can't really say for sure. But the Avengers: Infinity War had a bigger opening than Black Panther. But Black Panther seems to be going longer. The money's long.
I think more people, after they seen it the first time, they enjoyed it.
Right.
And they went back and seen it, while people with Avengers, they didn't like the...
Well, they weren't crazy about the ending, so they're not going to go back and see it again.
And it's nothing... Yeah, it wasn't a 2-time... I saw it twice just because I took my son to see it. And trust me, it is not a 2-time movie. It's not one of those movies where you're like, oh, man, I got to see it again. It's... Right. I almost fell asleep the second time.
Black Panther got some repeat business, so that's why I say it's probably going to have longer money, whereas Avengers is probably going to have more money, I guess, because of the opening was huge. It was huge. So, and it's in its 3rd week, I believe, and it still made 62 million. So we'll see how that works out. Coming out this Friday, May 18th. Is Deadpool 2. Now, for those who saw Deadpool 1, y'all know Deadpool is a different kind of superhero. He cusses. He has sex with women. He's just foul.
He's like Howard the Duck.
2, he what? Like what'd you say?
I said he's an awful lot like Howard the Duck.
He's a lot like Howard the Duck. But Deadpool 2 needs to be bigger, better. Now, just something y'all need to know, Josh Brolin plays Cable, who was the villain in Deadpool 2, he also played Thanos in Avengers: Infinity War. Same actor, two different villains. Same universe. Go figure. I don't know. So they couldn't find nobody else to play Cable other than Josh Brolin. It's just really weird. But That's the movie to look for this weekend. Is Deadpool 2. It's probably going to be either number 1 or number 2 by next week.
It's definitely going to be number 1.
It may be number 1. It may top Avengers. I don't know. It
got number 1 last year. The last number 1 got number 1 for several weeks.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens.
Hey, Raw Dog.
Yeah.
I looked it up. Black Panther made $65 million in its third week in the box office.
So it's slightly ahead, but you got to keep in mind that the Avengers Civil War had a bigger opening. So it may just level itself out. We'll see, because Avengers still have a little bit of Avengers still has some legs in it. So we'll see how far it goes. I mean, Black Panther, people were seeing it in theaters weeks before it went to DVD. They were still going to the theater to go see it. So I just think Black Panther just had a better story. That it was all encompassing. Whereas Avengers, you kind of have to know going into it what you're dealing with. You know what I mean? Would you agree, Drew?
Oh, definitely. It's a combination of all 10 years of movies, just all kind of reaching ahead. So I think Black Panther, I thought it was brilliant the way they kind of played it in. You know how they played well with it. Because Black Panther could have stood alone just the same way Deadpool stands alone. In the same universe, but somehow doing something different. Same thing with Ant-Man that's coming out next month. Or in July. In the same universe, at the same time, but somehow caught up on something different.
Yeah.
Not worried about the end of the world. And then we never mentioned, because it's a difference is with Sony Fox or whatever, but we never mentioned the fact that technically X-Men are in the same universe.
But, and X-Men aren't involved in any of this.
Yeah.
Technically, they all did.
Yeah. Jay, that's it. That's all of our comic book talk. I promise. All right. It's time for us to talk a little bit about television, man. And one of the big things that, like, oh my God, it feels so good. I wish life was really like this. Blackish. How do y'all feel about that? Don't you wish life was like that?
Man, I really wish it was, because the way that they finished this arc, this particular story arc, was the best way to do it, man. Because in real life, that happens. Sometimes it takes a tragedy for you to realize that, oh man, I need this person, and that person needs me. That threw me for a loop when she called us and her dad died. I was like, oh man, because that just throws everything out the window. I mean, think about it. If you were in those shoes and your wife, who you're separated from, calls you and says one of her parents died, you automatically say, I'm there.
I'm on my way.
I'm on my way. No matter where you are in the relationship, you're going to be there. And that is about as realistic as you can get on television when it comes down to talking about relationships. Not black relationships, relationships.
Yeah. Now, side petty note, J-Rock, if one of your exes call and say that their mom or daddy died, are you there?
I'm married right now, sir.
Good answer. All right. Good answer. Boy, the more you know. He may not be that direction, but yeah. So just in case he's that direction.
You on your way, boy.
Yes.
All I need is the NBC logo behind me.
The more you know. Ding, ding, ding.
All right, my man. All right, what else is going on with television, man? Atlanta wrapped up their season?
I love the way they wrapped up this season, man. What'd you say, Jay?
Yes, sir.
I said I loved it. I loved the way the season ended.
Talk about it.
Well, the season, like I said last week, the season 2 finale, it was kind of like, the whole season was pretty much centered around Earn, the Donald Glover character, and Brian Tyree, the Paperboy character. They've had like some disagreements and everything, and so the end of the season they were going on tour in Europe, and Earn was afraid that Paperboy, his cousin, was going to fire him. And so the premise of the episode, it all went back to episode 1 when Cat Williams' character, Alligator Man, gave Earn a gold gun. Right, and so they found the gun because Earn tried to pass it off and put it in some moving equipment at Paperboy's house. He put it in his backpack. And so the whole time, if you're following, you're like, okay, something's going to happen. Earn has had a bad season. Everything, even when he got money, he got the money from the streaming. He got punked out of it. He got robbed out of it. And then even when he had the money and he went to the club, they wouldn't accept it. Well, they were on their way to Europe and they were at the airport. And Earn realized that he had the gun in his bag. and he was quick and he took it out of his bag and he put it into the rapper's bag. Well, that bag happened to be the rapper's manager's bag, Clark County, and so that's when his cousin Paperboy pretty much told him, I like the way you move because we black, we gonna find a way to survive in any way possible. So the season ended with the hottest rapper, Clark County, his manager getting arrested because Earn put the gun in Clark County's bag because he thought that if Clark was arrested, then Paperboy would headline the European tour. And so they got a lot going into the season 3 with the show. Like I said, this season, I'm glad that Donald Glover was able to go off and do solo because it gave them time to marinate and make this great season. They came up with the thing, Robin season. So everybody got robbed in every episode, all 10 episodes this season.
One thing that Paperboy said that was important was he said, look, Negroes going to be Negroes, and they don't care. He said, but you fam. He's like, you care. Even though you've made some questionable decisions, you've shown that you care. And you ain't going to find that nowhere else. He said, I need somebody in my corner that care. And that's the reason. And basically, Earn has care. He just had a string of bad luck. You know what I mean? But he does care about what happens to his cousin and his career. He's there for the long haul. You know what I mean? And that's eventually what saved Earn from getting fired from his job, man, was that he, through it all, he cared. And there you go.
All right. So other things going on around television. This is that season where we find out shows get canceled. One of my favorite shows got canceled in Last Man on Earth.
Oh, wow.
But Brooklyn Nine-Nine, another show I watched, got canceled but then picked up by NBC. That. So that was a big thing. You said what?
Say it again. They got canceled, right?
They got canceled by Fox but then picked up by NBC.
Get out of here.
Nice.
Which is no surprise because the NBC, because that is from an NBC, from a Saturday Night Live, alum. So, the connection with NBC is deep. And I think that they'll be able to take the show and bring majority of the cast over. I know on Terry Cruz's Instagram, he indicated that he would be coming over because he was thanking everybody and, for them being able to continue. So we don't know because, anytime a show gets canceled and then moves over, sometimes they can't bring other people over. So it'd be interesting to see.
I love Brooklyn Nine-Nine. I think it's one of the most underrated funny shows. It is generally funny every single week. Yeah. And I'm glad that it's going to get a new life. That happened with the one show with Mindy Kaling. She had a show on Fox.
And it got picked up by Hulu. Yeah.
Hulu, yeah.
So that's my hope for The Last Man on Earth is that it gets picked up by Hulu because it would be right up Hulu's alley. It's kind of quirky like that. So
my wife hates that show.
Well, Last Man on Earth.
She hates that show.
My wife isn't a huge fan because of the basic, literal, the nature of, is he the last man on earth or not? And once discovered that he's not, it's like, I ain't messing with you.
I see other men, so he technically ain't the last man on earth.
Exactly.
You're being too literal, honey. Come on now. My wife hates that show, and yet we sit there and watch it. I didn't know it got canceled, though. That threw me.
Yeah. So Saturday Night Live wrapped up real quick before we transition out of here. Saturday Night Live is wrapped up its season. Did it wrap up the season with the Donald Glover, or is it one more?
No.
It's next week is Tina Fey and Nicki Minaj. That's the last episode.
Last week was Amy Schumer.
So far, has this been one of the best seasons in a long time? You got Sterling K. Brown and
I've enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I think they've hit their stride, man. I think the best thing that happened to Saturday Night Live was Donald Trump.
Yeah.
You know
Adam, what's my guy's name?
Alec Baldwin.
Alec Baldwin. He got a job for the next 2.5 years. I thought that the last 2 seasons, with the Donald Trump is pretty much giving them free material. It's like the majority of the show is dealing with Trump and his administration, and then you throw in other things like this season. I would say as far as with the black characters, the black guest stars like your Sterling K. Browns. Your what's my guy? Chance the Rapper, was he on this year?
Chance the Rapper was on this year. Chadwick Boseman was this year.
Tiffany Haddish. All the African American guest hosts, their episodes, they stood out to me because they were dealing with what we like.
Right. I like the black cast members that are on there. Of course, Keenan, the tall chick.
Leslie,
Leslie, and the new dude who was hilarious,
Chris Red.
Oh, yeah. Them
his
three
facial
to
expressions
me
get me every time.
They make the show. Whenever those three are in a skit, it's comedy gold every single time. Them plus whatever black guests they got, they gonna kill it.
Remember Finesse Mitchell?
I remember.
Yes. Oh my God.
One season, baby.
Yep. Did well in the NBA as Derek Fisher. So, speaking of NBA, it's time for us to talk about the NBA playoffs. There's a lot going on. Let's start in the East because that's people's least favorite to talk about. Now, LeBron James is now down 0-2. Like, all right, he's down 2. You know, people say he can come back. Some people are saying Boston's just too good. My idea is that I feel like, can he come back and will he? Probably, it's a good chance he will. But I feel like LeBron has spoiled his team to the point where they're like bold enough to be like, oh, he'll lead us to victory, and they don't even do their part. They just stand around kind of watching him work real hard. Kind of like the Thunder.
That's what they did in the last game. A lot of them stood around and watched. And I think LeBron is kind of like, all right, guys, come on now, for real. I can't. I mean, you know, I can do about 90% of them, but I'm going to need y'all 10%, you know. The defense was horrible. They was leaving these guys wide open. For what's his name? Terry Rozier? This dude was wide open.
Yeah, Scary Terry.
I mean, at least like 3 times he had time to eat a burger, take a dump, and then shoot a 3 because nobody was covering him. He was wide open. I'm like, what kind of defense are y'all running? So I don't know what Tyronn Lue, maybe they're not listening to him. They're too busy watching LeBron. I don't know what's happening. But I believe the Cavaliers are going to end up winning this series. As good as Boston is, I don't see them beating the Cleveland Cavaliers in a 7-game series. I think once the Cavaliers go home, they're going to run through that team.
Yeah, I can see that. What about you, Jay? Who you got coming out the East?
I was on the Cleveland, side and everything, but Boston, that Brad Stevens is the coach that we wish we had in Oklahoma City because he does everything that we wish a coach would do. He's playing right now without his. I won't even say Kyrie Irving and Gordon Hayward are the best players because the upside of Irving keeps getting hurt, and Jason Tatum and the Brown kid, forgot his first name, Jaylen Brown. These guys are amazing. Like, I thought LeBron was going to come in and just dominate them, but Boston's played team ball, and it's like Boston has the right format to beat a Cleveland team. They're fundamentally sound. They pass the ball around. There's no superstar on the team. Everybody is getting what they can, and like we said with Cleveland, it's like watching OKC East. One player pounds the rock out, then passes off with maybe 2 seconds left. They'll either take the shot or pass it off. And then they don't play defense. LeBron got hurt last night, and Boston is clicking right now. They came back from down, 15 points to win that game by 12. So I can see them still in 1 in Cleveland and then winning in 5 at home.
All right, so.
And they got to watch out for Marcus Smart. He almost took JR's head off last night.
Oh, my gosh. What was it? Somebody saved him.
It was one of the Celtics.
No, Tristan Thompson. He actually bumped him because Marcus Smart was about to fire off on J.R. Smith, who should be suspended for that because that is a dirty play.
It was flagrant. It should have been flagrant too. And so they kind of wish the NBA is wishy-washy on flagrant runs and flagrant too. They're not consistent at all.
And I got a question about that here in a second about Draymond. Before we leave to go talk about the West, on the East, the Bucks got their coach today.
What's his name? Mike Budenholzer or whatever.
The dude from Atlanta, right?
He used to be a part of San Antonio.
Yeah,
he had won Coach of the Year in 2016, but he's in Milwaukee right now. But we all know that doesn't mean anything
at all. And so
it sucks to be a Milwaukee Bucks fan, dude. That's gotta suck.
So a lot is going on with what's going on in the West, and it looks like a lot of people are just writing Houston off and saying they just don't have the firepower. We made this point, or you made this point, especially Raw Dog. The only way that I see that Houston could probably get in is if they get Draymond out of the game potentially? Because his weakness is yelling at the refs. He's a volatile player. And do you think Draymond, the question I got for you guys about that is, do you think Draymond is getting away with way too much this playoffs?
Yes.
Yeah, he is.
He should have been ejected 5 seconds into the game. Yeah. I don't care if he's a all-star, if he's a champion. If that would have been anybody else, they would have been ejected from the game. And this was within the first 10 seconds of the game that he hit James Harden. And it wasn't even like Harden was flopping like he normally does. Draymond really went for his neck or his chin.
Or his beard. But either way, no referee wants to be responsible for, somehow preventing the Golden Girls from getting to the finals. So that's why they're being a little, and they should stop doing that. Draymond needs to be put on notice. Like, look, bro, you keep acting a fool. We don't care if it's the finals or not. You're gonna get suspended. Stop acting like you're stupid, And that's gonna be at some point. It's a 7-game series. At some point, a referee's gonna get sick of it, and he's gonna get taken up too many times, and he won't be available. And that's gonna be crucial in this particular series because if Draymond isn't there, that does give Houston a little bit of a shot with Golden State. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
True, they don't have nobody that's gonna match up with Kevin Durant. I mean, that's a given, man. But if Kevin has a bad night and Draymond's not there, that's a problem for Golden State.
Yeah. Now, let me ask you something. When it comes to playoff MVP status, if there was such an award of not finals MVP, but just the MVP of the playoffs, so far, is it Kevin Durant or is it LeBron James?
LeBron James.
I don't think it's Kevin only because they haven't really been tested yet. It has to be LeBron because LeBron and Cleveland Cavaliers went to Game 7 with a really good Pacers team, and he was able to eke them out of that.
Who would you?
Kevin hasn't. The Golden State haven't really hit anything testing them just yet. This might be the series though, right here with Houston. Although if Houston needs to stop playing like an AAU team though.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They need to take advantage of the firepower that they have around them and stop all this one-on-one crap. You're not going to beat Golden State playing one-on-one ball, playing isolation ball. It's just not going to happen.
And that is the big argument. It's like, can that ISO style, because they do a nice mixture of trying to make it, of disguising it, but at the end of the day, it's still ISO ball.
Still ISO.
And, it's just because the funny thing is like they got exposed because Gordon is not having a good playoff run right now.
Right.
Ariza's not having a good time, at the 3-point, past the 3-point stripe. So it's sort of like when all things aren't clicking, even Capella's intimidated on the pick and roll. So now they're truly exposed for the ISO team that they really are. And the only thing they have is tempo over Golden State. But back to this, I want to go back real quick to this question about KD and LeBron. Who would you, when it comes to playoffs as a whole, just in general, would you say that KD is somebody, if you were building a team for the next 3 years of playoff runs, would you want KD or would you want LeBron for the next 3 years if it was just about building your playoff team?
Well, KD needed help. That's why he ended up in Golden State. If KD could do it by himself, he would have stayed in Oklahoma City. Apparently he couldn't. LeBron has proven that he can pretty much do it by himself if he wants to. So if I'm gonna give a foundation for a team, it has to be LeBron.
What if
KD? KD's not that type of player. He's not that type of leader. That's just not what he is.
Well, what if it was about just teaming up with Russ? Like if it was just like, okay, going into the playoffs, we're gonna give the Thunder an extra player. Who would you grab? Would you grab KD or would you grab LeBron to be with the Thunder squad?
KD. I'm sorry. We've seen this. We've seen this type of deal, right? Because LeBron and Russ, they both have to have the ball in their hand. It's like that dribbling the ball for 20 minutes. But at least we know with Russ having the ball, he knows that KD would get open and he would be able to hit an open jumper, or he would be able to get to the basket. We've seen that for 7 or 8 years with OKC. We don't know how that would look with LeBron James because LeBron and Russ, their roles are similar to each other as far as with leading the team. The question you just said was who would you prefer? I would prefer a LeBron James because I know that if it's just like LeBron with his team right now, he can't take a night off. Kevin Durant with the team he has, he can have a bad night and he still has a Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Draymond Green that can have his back to score for the scoring load. In LeBron's case, he may have Kevin. You don't know which Kevin Love you're gonna get, but everything else after that, nothing. They scored 20 outside of Kevin Love and LeBron James. The team scored 22 points. The starting backcourt scored 3 points. They were 1 of 11 shooting last night. George Hill and J.R. Smith. You can't win in the playoffs if your supporting cast is doing that for you.
Yeah, that's bad. That is not good at all. All right, so we still lock solid that it's probably going to be the Golden Girls coming out the West.
I'm not sure, bro. I'm not sure. I mean, game one, yeah, Houston lost, and they lost the home court advantage. But this is gonna be a long series. This one ain't gonna wrap up. This one is not gonna wrap up in 5. This may go 6 or 7.
All right. So
I was gonna say if Houston plays the way they played in game one, it's gonna be a sweep. They need to get more out of PJ Tucker and Trevor Ariza.
They need to move the ball. That's what they need to do. And they need to step out that isolate because that's not going to beat Golden State.
I'll take it a step further. I think the key component for Houston, more than the individuals who are going to start, I think it's important for some of the role players like Gerald Green and even PJ Tucker to be the force.
Mm-hmm.
Mainly Gerald Green because you can't. His athleticism and then his veteran-like the wisdom that comes along with the length of time that he's been in the league, he's savvy enough to where I feel like he can give Iguodala and other individuals a run for their money so he can match what Golden State can bring off the bench. They just need to utilize Green the right way. And I believe Green has he kind of got that thug-like mentality when it comes to on the court. He going to get his. And he ain't really worried about it too much. So I think they need to bring in more heart in order to really, to get a few victories. And if they don't use Green to get that, for that, they don't have a chance. Because Chris Paul, this is Chris Paul's, he's lost in space right now. And I don't think he has the capacity to lead them out of this. They're going to need a dark horse. They're going to need somebody to come out and surprise Golden State to even get a victory. All right, so that's our NBA talk, and we had no arguments, nothing at all. Went by smooth.
Well,
we didn't think it was going to go that way. One last piece of NBA news that we got to throw out there that you guys were informing me is that there's going to be a whole 10-hour block of Michael Jordan coming real soon.
Yes.
Nobody's going to explain it? Y'all just going to...
Cheers. Okay, Netflix and ESPN Films, they have come together and they have agreed to release a 10-hour documentary called The Last Dance that's going to be released in 2019. They have over 500 hours of unaired footage of Michael Jordan over his career from high school, college, time with the Bulls, Wizards, all of this stuff. And it's going to be released next year. And he is signed on. This isn't like something like the OJ thing where they just have people talking about OJ. This is something that Michael Jordan will be interviewed and talked to on this, so he's going to be a part of it.
Yeah. Even the baseball years will be included too? The Space Jam and
baseball years, because if I recall, when they did the thing on Michael Jordan about going to play for the Birmingham
the
Barons,
30 for 30,
yeah, he wasn't a part of that.
He wasn't, yeah.
It was just stock footage. So this one he signed off on, so that makes it even better. This is like the 130 for 30 outside. I can't think of anything else that anybody wants to see that everybody wants to view because we see Michael Jordan, but we never have seen him talk about, his career. It's just always like old stock interviews and everything.
Man,
I'm looking forward to it.
This is a 150 for 150. This is huge. That goes.
He is the last universally loved NBA player ever. There'll never be a player as universally loved as Jordan, no matter how good they are. Now you have great players. You're going to always have haters. There were a handful of haters back then, but overall, he was universally loved because he became a phenomenon. even as good as Kobe was, as good as LeBron is, as good as Kevin is,
That's your nipple, Jay?
Yeah, why are you showing us your nipple, Jay? I don't understand.
Oh, my bad, brother.
Okay.
Nipsey.
It just kind of threw me off there. They're always gonna have a fair amount of haters because that's just the league now. That's just our world now.
But that's just media. Yeah.
Huh?
I think if ESPN existed back then, I think people would have probably found a way to hate Dr. J and you know what I'm saying, and surround.
ESPN existed when Jordan was there.
No, not as a 24-hour network like it is now. Now with 3 different branches of it, and then there was no competition.
Social media.
There was media. It's never going to be. That's never going to be an arguable or comparable thing. The media that Michael Jordan faced is not even a tenth of what a LeBron or a Kobe has had.
Right, which is why I say he's going to be the last.
Yeah, that's exactly. I've always agreed with that point. Not based off of him, but just based off of when he was born and when he came.
It's both him and the social settings around him. You can't talk about the social settings around him and not have him involved in it too. He had to be a specific type of player.
I'm not saying that he's not a part of it. I'm just saying the bigger factor is him not having to deal with the media like he has. That's what I'm saying. Okay. That's why you were apologizing earlier at the beginning of the show, man, because you know
what?
The wrong words go viral and you ain't even famous. You know you could take a loss. Social media ain't no joke, man.
True. Yeah.
You said a monkey ain't no joke.
No.
What?
Jay was taking out time to call you a monkey. That's just put that out there. We gotta move on. Man. All right, it's time for us to talk about.
I'm a monkey and there's an elephant in the room. Okay, whatever.
So it's time for us to talk about.
You gotta relax.
Wow. Time for us to get into a good hood discussion. Now, this hood discussion is about Black Panther. Like I said, I went and got the DVD, picked it up Tuesday, and looked through the special features and the commentary, and I was just blown away listening to Ryan Coogler talk about like the process of visiting Africa before even writing all of the script and everything that went into it. Watched all the different features and just thought about everything that went into them making this movie. All goes along this line of black excellence. You know what I'm saying? And so it got me to thinking, is this the greatest black movie ever made? Like, now, in a lot of categories, we can say yes. Like, we talk about money made, yes. Cast members, yes. All these other things. But we're talking our own hood entertainment. Now we enter into the boys in the hoods and maybe for Jay, a state property, you know.
Oh, God.
Come on, brother.
Is it more iconic? Like, you know, is it more iconic? Is it going to be, do we feel like it's going to be the greatest black movie ever made?
It's hard to say, man. I mean,
still early.
It's still early. I would say that right now it's in the top 5, definitely. Because of the impact.
Give me some movies before it.
Definitely Boys to Men. I'm not Boys to Men. Boys in the Hood.
Of course. I knew you liked the guys.
No, I don't like those guys. You know I don't like those guys. Boys in the Hood, Menace to Society.
Coming to America.
Huh?
He hates Coming to America.
I think Coming to America is overrated. Y'all know that. It's not in the top. Coming to America is not in the top 5. It doesn't have the same impact as a Boys in the Hood, a Menace to Society, a Do the Right Thing, a Malcolm X. Come on, man. How are you gonna put
Malcolm X? Are you serious?
That's a great movie. You gonna tell me that movie was? You gonna tell me that movie wasn't impactful? Malcolm X, Denzel Washington playing Malcolm X. You gonna tell me it wasn't powerful?
It's not as powerful as Coming to America. Not as powerful as Coming to America.
I can't believe you just said that.
I don't know if I
did say that.
Something as infantile as Coming to America is more powerful than Malcolm X? That's what's wrong with our generation.
You're in a different generation than me, sir. You're in a different generation, sir.
Well, that's what's wrong with our generation.
No, I don't think that
makes no sense to me.
I'm sorry, but Malcolm X is great of a movie of it as it was. One, we all can agree it was a little bit too long.
Yes.
Yeah,
It was
long.
2 hours too long.
But that doesn't take away from its impactfulness, though.
It was impactful, but
I put impact us
it
like
wasn't.
That. Other than we knew, we learned some lines that we can repeat.
It's not I don't know, man. I'll put to you like this: the impactful nature of like Malcolm X does not supersede like even come. Everybody still talks about Nose coming to America. Now, whether it impacted in a positive or negative way can be argued, but people know Coming to America front and back.
Of course, everybody knows Coming to America. They play it every week.
They do
on TV.
Yeah,
they play it a lot. You can't miss it.
You can't play Malcolm X a lot. It ain't enough time. But
it doesn't matter, man.
It's like 8 hours long.
It's a great movie. You mean to tell me your attention span can't go 2.5 hours, bro, to learn a little bit about history, about a man that meant just as much to us as Martin Luther King, to see a tour de force performance by Denzel, who should have won an Oscar, and you're going to tell me Eddie Murphy dressed up as a barbershop person, Eddie Murphy and Arsenio Hall dressed up as a girl. Oh, yeah, that does it for you. What does that say about your generation, man?
Well, I'll tell you this right now. Critical condition, Denzel Washington was better than Malcolm X, Denzel Washington. That's all I got to say about that.
So you just discounted everything you just said, sir. Denzel killed that role, and you cannot have, and on top of that, in order for Spike to have finished the film, he had to get other black celebrities to finance it. We're talking about Janet Jackson. We're talking about Stevie Wonder. We're talking about Prince. We're talking about all these people putting their money.
Did Bill Cosby give any money to this movie?
Did.
Yeah, he did.
He did.
So now this movie got a black eye now. He's got a black eye now. I'm definitely not watching it ever again.
Well, listen.
You don't want to watch it anyway. Your attention span ain't long enough.
Well, okay, so outside of Coming to America, you know that Boys in the Hood. Now, Boys in the Hood is iconic, and Menace to Society is too, but these are two movies that, can you honestly say, how much did those two movies build up the community? Realistically, did they do something positive like a Black Panther has done? Because
Boys in the Hood showed a black father.
We didn't say whether it was a positive or negative impact. Did it have an impact enough that we still consider these movies classics? Okay, so maybe Boys in the Hood and Men's Society didn't give us, the best positive role models, but it did give us a slice of life that mainstream America had never seen, that we knew existed. So in that way, it was impactful.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that mainstream America hadn't seen Boys in the Hood, because Boys in the Hood to me is no different than Cooley High. Like, they've seen black people go through something.
No. Boys in the Hood is way different than Cooley High.
I'm not talking about the script. I'm talking about the whole plot line of young black men trying to figure something out and overcoming things that had been seen on the big screen.
But if that's the case, you could say Menace to Society and Boys in the Hood are basically the same movie.
I am saying that. Exactly.
Okay.
That.
It is.
But they were both impactful regardless, just like Cooley High was impactful.
They were, but do they deserve to be in a category? Because one thing that we've already established about Black Panther, and one thing we've established about even Malcolm X, you can't really dispute what, like, the impact that they have being a positive one and being something that can be looked. I'll put you like this: if it was a time capsule for our great grandkids to just look back and see what movies were about, would you want them to open up and see Coming to America, Black Panther, or Boys in the Hood? Which one of those movies would you want to be a representative of?
That's for damn sure. It would definitely be Black Panther as of right now. But
that goes to the question of, is it the greatest black movie ever? Why didn't you pick Malcolm X? That's my question.
No, because to me, first of all, Boys in the Hood was impactful because when I saw it, it had an impact on me to the point that it was the first movie that I saw that I would never forget. And then I went to go see back several times. And so I'm just saying that personally, Boys in the Hood was that big of a film. More so than Menace to Society. I like Menace to Society, but it wasn't as impactful as Boys in the Hood. See, if we keep moving the goal line, saying, okay, well, was it impactful? Was it impactful positively? Was it impactful negatively? Then we'll be arguing about this all day.
We're not doing that though. Like, I mean,
it seems like we're not doing that.
No, you're conveniently saying, like, you're saying that out of convenience.
It sounds like we're doing it.
Because I asked you a real specific question about what 3 movies, and you ignored Malcolm X in the mix. So you wouldn't want Malcolm X to be the lasting image
Malcolm
for the future?
Is top 5.
Top 5. So what is your clear number 1? Is it Boys in the Hood?
Boys in the Hood. Definitely. Boys in the Hood.
What's your clear number 1, Jay?
I mean, it would be Coming to America, but shut up. But no, the reason why I can't say it's the greatest movie of all time because, it's been out for 3 months, and it kind of like you're saying everything that has happened in the last 40, 50 years as far as the movies has been overtaken by one movie. I like the plot of Black Panther, and it's also a black superhero, something that we haven't seen before. Like, I don't consider Blank Man or Blade or Meteor Man. I don't consider that. Those are all like comedies.
Blade wasn't a comedy.
But with Black Panther, it's just that the way that Marvel and Disney did a good job of how they promoted the movie, and they kind of like swayed you to make you feel like we never had this before. And so, that's why we kept going back to see the movie over and over again. Well, that's why myself and you went out and bought the Blu-ray on the first day that it came out. Because we want this impact of it, and we want it to pass on to our grandchildren.
Right. So for me, when I look at my argument with Black Panther, is the whole idea that it's like the overall work that was put into it to exhibit like that black excellence, to show that we can come together and we can do set design. We can display Africa in a way that Africa's never actually been displayed on the big screen. As far as one of the things, one of the reasons, and this is something Ryan Coogler has said, it was a good point. Things don't become real until you see people actually eating there. And when you're designing a set. And so we saw Wakanda and we thought, this looks and feels real. It feels beautiful. And it did remind me of like when I landed in Haiti and saw like all these black faces, and it was like, wow. Now other things hit me, and then it's totally different than Wakanda. But point is, like, totally different. But when you're in like an all black land, it does change you. And I don't think I had ever really seen that on film before. Coming to America kind of gave it to us. And I think that's one of the reasons why I always remembered Coming to America, is because it did give me this black kingdom that I felt was real, even though it's not. You know what I'm saying? So I like that the movie did what it was supposed to do, and it drew me in. Malcolm X drew me in too. It is in the top. It's in my top 5. I'm not saying I know where Black Panther really places for me, but at this point, it feels like it's a number 1. And I'm perfect. I'm the type of person that's perfectly okay with letting the future have its place. Like, I'm okay with the next generation coming up and doing something better than the generation before, because I did my best and will always try to do my best to top the generation before me, because I was raised to do that, to try to be better than the generation before. So I'm okay with Black Panther being better than the movies in the past. That means maybe we set the bar higher, especially to get beyond the Menace to Society, New Jack City, Colors era of movies, where it was all about displaying us as gang members. Hopefully we're done with that. Like, that has its place, it's real, but hopefully...
Superfly's coming out this summer, so we're not done with it.
He ain't lying.
He ain't
lying.
He ain't.
I'm dead serious.
Yeah.
I saw the commercial, sir.
That's where I want that lady showing up and calling the police. Like on us. I want her there calling the police when we're going to see Madea movies, when we're going to see remakes of blaxploitation movies.
Oh yeah, and now it's in Atlanta instead of in New York. So.
Of course it's in, yeah. But here's the thing. We're going to watch that, though.
Huh?
We're going to go watch that. I hate to admit it.
Now, here's the thing. I'm not going to go to the movies and watch it because I have my respect. Now,
you will not have your leather coat in there.
Never, sir.
Never.
We'll catch you sneaking in the Sand Springs.
I will rent it, sir, in the privacy of my own home. But I will not go out in public and purchase a ticket for the remake of Superfly. I've got my morals.
If they remake any Dolomite movie,
oh God,
that's when I'm done.
Have anyone actually sat and watched a Dolomite movie?
Yes, several.
Jay, have you?
No.
You have to, dude, just to say you did it.
Yeah, like it's not violent. They never connect. There's plenty of kicks and people falling back. It's like you punch at me right now, Jay. This is pretty much what it looked like.
Trust me, I seen the old ODB video where they took clips of the Dolomite movie out. That was horrible. That was horrible.
It is so much comedy. You'll be in tears by like the first 15 minutes.
And Rudy Raymore was a good comedian in all reality, if you like dirty jokes. And but I still sometimes struggle with, was he serious sometimes?
Well, they played it so seriously, and he kept making moves. I saw one worse than Dolomite. He made one called The Disco Godfather, which was around like 79.
He had to be coked up on something.
Oh man, it was bad.
Yeah,
boy. It was worse than Dolomite, if that's possible. Rest in peace, Rudy Ray Moore.
Human Tornado, man.
The Human Tornado. Petey Wheatstraw.
Oh man, so yeah, there's a lot. We've come a long way, man. We've come a long way with black movies. It's a movie I didn't mention, but it's in my top. Both the remake and the original is Sweetback. When you talk about black movies,
Sweetback?
Yeah, those are like Mario redid it years later.
It's hard for me to watch that movie, man. It's hard for me to watch that movie. Honestly.
Yeah.
I tried.
Bill Cosby also helped bankroll that too.
He did. That's a hard movie to watch. I mean, would you agree? It's a hard movie to watch.
It's not a great movie to follow plot-wise. It's not, but there was something that...
There's a lot of crazy stuff going on in that movie.
I was inspired by... This was the first time I had learned of a black director taking over cinematography and doing what he wanted to do to visually create these pictures. I wish he would have had a script that could have sealed it together. But it was like, hey, I'm going to put this work out here. Now, Mario brought it to the high, basically his remake was just telling the next generation, my dad made a really, really great thing that kicked off a lot of really great things for black cinema.
And he got VD while he was doing the movie. So.
Yeah, so.
Wow.
Yeah. So nothing was simulated in this movie.
Yeah. TMI.
Melvin was really going for it in this movie. I'm like, dang, bro.
That's life.
That's when you love your work, when you're willing to catch a venereal disease.
All right, so that's our hood discussion for the day. And once again, we end on venereal diseases. So now is the best time for the final cut. J-Rock, give him what you got, boss.
All right, last Thursday, my godmom, she got her master's degree. She's been in and out of school for the last 6 years. One of my proudest moments is when I got my master's. She went across the stage and got her bachelor's degree, so she didn't stop with getting her education. In the news this week, there was a 70-year-old man who got his associate's degree from TCC. What I'm getting at is that as we get older, it's okay to continue to educate ourselves. One of my bosses tells me all the time that one thing that makes your job more easier is that you continue to educate yourself on what's going on in the world. He said whether it's the pop culture or the street slang, that way that you won't come off as the old man when you're talking to these people. So, it was props to my Aunt Donna, she's my godmother, I call her Aunt Donna, and the 70-year-old man who from here in Tulsa who got his degree at TCC. Never stop learning, keep going, never stop, because there's always something out there that you can learn. And like I say every week, winners win and losers lose. They all find a way to do what they do. This is J-Rock, and I'm out. Ugh.
And I want to give props to my significant other, my wife. Just started a new job at Cancer Treatment of America. Got her a nice raise. Doing what she loves to do. She's a chef. I point that out because my wife made a decision about 5-6 years ago to just change her, her line of work, and she went to school to become a chef. and that's really panned out. Now, it doesn't go without having any struggles, but to see where she is now, I'm just really proud of her. Say all that to say, man, if there's something that you want to do, there's nothing stopping you from doing it but you. And circumstances. There's always going to be obstacles put in your way as you try to make it up to that ladder to where you're trying to get to. But understand the obstacles are there to make you stronger and to make you appreciate the effort that it took to get you there. So when you get there, you can look back and go, I did this. Thank God, for having my back as I went through this, and I'm just going to keep going further and further in my career. So no matter what, man, if my wife can do it, anybody can do it. Not to say that, okay, I went somewhere weird with that. All I'm saying is, there's nothing stopping you from doing you but you. All right? With that, don't tell God about your big problems. Tell your problems you got a big God. And I'm out.
All right, so for me, the best advice I can give you is just declare that this season, is going to be one of just success for you. Like, you can start today just saying, I'm going to do something different. I'm going to do something new. Be inspired by the people that you're about to watch walk across the stage, the individuals who are going to get married as this season comes about, the anniversaries that you'll see people who are having success. Take the success from others and overcome by the words of their testimony, and be excited and proud about the fact that you've got breath in your lungs and you have the ability to go out there and set this world on fire and be and do whatever it is that you have been called to do. Stop making the excuse and stop saying tomorrow, and do it today, and let this be a season of success for you, and plant seeds for the generations of individuals that are coming after you. Seeds of success and excellence, all right? It's well within our capacity. It doesn't matter what they say about you or about people who look like you on the news. It doesn't matter what you see on the internet. You are made out of something beautiful. You are special. You are made in the image of God, and you can succeed, all right? Remember, hate can't drive out hate. Only love can do that. We love you guys for listening. We thank you for listening to the Barbershop 918. And you can always check us out at
thebarbershop918.com. Is it the barbershop? I believe
the
barbershop918.com. You can catch us on Instagram. You can catch us on Twitter. You can catch us on Facebook, of course. Catch us on YouTube. Just Google us, man. Barbershop 918. If you can't find us, you ain't looking for us. If you ain't looking for us, you're missing out. We are the Barbershop 918. That's what we do, baby. All day, every day. Episode 104, baby.
What we naming this episode, Jay?
I can't think of nothing right now.
May you be honest.
I was gonna say we can't do the Malcolm X episode.
Is that what we're gonna call it? Because you guys, the Malcolm X versus Coming to America. I cannot believe that was actually an argument had on this show. I cannot believe that. I'm just really disappointed in both of you.
I'm disappointed in other things that were said at the beginning of the show, sir. Step off your soapbox.
I apologize for that, sir. I apologize for that. I'm a comedian. I say stuff, and I didn't know we were recording.